Welcome to Class Connect study series with Yusuf Arikewiyo. Today we shall consider the concept of friction. Friction defines the oppositional force which exists or acts at the layer of separation between two bodies in contact. That is, when we have a body A which is in contact with body B, there should exist friction. When two or more bodies are in contact, there is always a certainty of friction existing between them. Types of friction. There are so many types of friction, but we can group them into four. These are static friction, sliding friction, rolling friction, and fluid friction. When a body is at rest, it exhibits or it has what is called the static friction. It is a friction a body possesses by the virtue of it being at rest. A body that is about to start moving or that is in motion will have what is called sliding friction or kinetic friction. A body that is moving in a circular path or in a rotational manner will possess what is referred to as rolling friction. And of course, when we talk of fluid friction, this is a friction that exists between the layers of a fluid. That is, the layers joining the fluids together will possess fluid friction. Laws of friction. The following are the laws of friction. 1. When an object is moving, the friction is proportional and perpendicular to the normal force. That is, whenever there will be friction, it is always acting in such a way that it is proportional and perpendicular to the normal force. 2. Friction is independent of the area of contact so long as there is an area of contact. That is, friction does not exist in isolation. It requires two or more bodies to be in contact, that is, for them to be in touch with one another for friction to exist. 3. Friction depends upon the nature of the surfaces in contact. That is, friction does not just occur. It is dependent on the type or the types of surfaces that are in contact with one another. Are the contacts smooth? Are the contacts rough? When they are smooth, the type of friction that would exist will be different from when the contact area or the contact surface are rough. 4. The coefficient of static friction is slightly greater than the coefficient of kinetic friction. And this is true because for a body to start motion or for a body to start moving, you need to apply a greater force than when the body is already in motion. So we say the coefficient of static friction is greater or slightly greater than the coefficient of kinetic friction. And lastly, within rather large limits, kinetic friction is independent of velocity. Let's now consider the advantages of friction. The following are some advantages of friction. 1. Friction supports movement. That is, it enables us to walk freely. Consider a situation where we have on a flip-flop. A flip-flop that has no rough edges underneath will practically make us slip or fall off. But a flip-flop with rough edges underneath will make us walk freely. And underneath our feet, we also have lines. These lines make it possible for us to walk freely even without a flip-flop. We are able to grab items, objects with our hands because of the lines on our hands or palm. Friction also helps to provide support and balance for inclined objects. For example, it is very possible and easy for us to balance a ladder against a wall, because when the ladder and the wall are in contact, there is the existence of friction between the two layers or between the two objects. Without the existence of friction, the ladder will practically slip off the wall. The ladder won't be able to stand firmly against the wall. Friction also supports or aids energy transformation. For example, it is possible for us to transform a particular form of energy to another form of energy. For example, mechanical energy can be transformed to electrical energy. Another advantage of friction is that it allows objects to come to a stop. For example, in a moving car, the brakes can be easily applied to make the car stop its motion. Friction also makes it possible for us to place one object over another object. For example, forming shapes. We can pick different shapes and arrange them to form different designs, different patterns we want. This is made possible because of the existence of friction. Let's now consider the disadvantages of friction. One of the major disadvantages of friction is that it causes wear and tear. For most moving parts in a machine, it is observed that after a period of time, the part that is usually in contact with another surface begins to wear off or tear off over time. This is as a result of friction. Another disadvantage of friction is that it produces heat in various parts of a machine. This reduces the optimum performance of such machine, as some of the useful energy is transformed into heat. Another disadvantage of friction is that it makes the machine require more power for its operation, and by so doing, it reduces the efficiency of a machine. Also, by definition, friction is an oppositional force. Hence, friction makes movement stressful, since it tends to oppose the relative motion. Another disadvantage of friction is that it produces noise in machines. For most machines while in operation, we could usually hear an unwarranted noise. Ways to reduce friction. The following are ways to reduce friction. 1. Use rulers or ball bearings at contact points where possible. 2. Ensure that streamlines on objects are in order and in good shape. 3. Reduce contacts between surfaces as much as possible. We can also make surfaces smoother to reduce friction, because smooth surfaces do not necessarily have high friction compared to rough surfaces. And lastly, apply lubricants such as grease or oil between moving parts to reduce friction in machines. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in our next class, and please do not forget to subscribe and click on the notification button. Thank you.